Hey, what's up, guys? Fwutther here. Gonna be bringing you another Steel Division 2 gameplay. Just a quick play game here today. I was playing 3rd Fallschrim, one of the new divisions from the new Tribute to D-Day DLC. My opponent is gonna be MB, formerly, or in parentheses, Auto Von Matic. Like I said, it's just a quick play game, but I really just want to showcase this, what I think is one of the best, and it's underrated, my favorite division. In the new update, 3rd Fallschrim, and I'm gonna go into a bit why I really like them a lot. And so a lot of the really meta decks these days, it's all like they're infantry decks, but like Indian Head, it's infantry spam where you get a bunch of disheartened units and cheap units. Whereas 3rd Fallschrim, you get infantry, but they're expensive, really good infantry. So it's a bit different in that sense, but that's why I like them. You get a lot of, all their infantry. It's got like 2 MG42s. They all carry like FG42s, which are extremely good, 600-meter range rifles, automatic rifles, and Guerreres 43s, and the big, not big, but STG 44s. Which are just like, those are absolutely just Marcus squad. So yeah, and I think it's very well rounded. You get a few unique weapons like the LG, which I bring in and the Poopshin, which I also bring in this deck. A lot of people don't like to bring them because they're a bit worse, but I'll get into that a little later as I bring them in. Let's go ahead and look at the deployment. So gonna be bringing in Fallschrim Jaeger. These two Fallschrim Jaegers. I'm gonna deploy them over here. I don't really like to go for this flag a whole lot because the way that you reinforce it, it's super precarious because your transports will just get killed. They have to go up here, up along this road, and then drive just like right in front of the enemy, and then arrive at the town. So even when I go to deploy them, like I fast move them to like about here, and then I have an unload order here, and then just walk them into the town because it's especially with the Fallschrim Jaegers, because the infantry is so expensive, but they're really good. You can't lose them, and transports is just you behind so much, especially during deployment. So going into the town though, I'm gonna bring my commander and rifle leader, one LG that one of the unique guns. It's kind of like the IG, except it's got worse range, one less availability, and it's got all right AP. It's just really inaccurate. And then my main anchor though for this is these 1-star Sturm Jaegers. These are the guys with FG42s, MP44s, and 2 MG42s. So they're the strongest unit of infantry that 3rd Fallschrim gets, and it's pretty much there to take up the front of the town and just quickly annihilate squads and make sure you win the initial phase in deployment. Up here, not too much, just an MG42 to take out his anti-tank guns, 1 Pioneer, 1 Jaeger, and AT gun. Pretty standard stuff. 2 Pioneers I end up taking. Let's see how it goes. So my main goal here is I gotta win the town. 6th Airborn is also an infantry deck. I get really scared with this Mosquito. I thought he was gonna air cheese me, but doesn't look like it. He would have brought out the plane by now. Unload the pack gun. It's got really good line of sight. It's going to take out a bunch of his units on the road. He's already got to pull off the leader, which is standard practice. You should do that as soon as you see an AT gun like that lined up. It's just going to like kill your transports. Just quickly kill it. Up here, he's just brought some the cheap Canadian infantry, Airborn engineers. I ended up losing one of my Pioneers there, which was super bad because I originally wanted to go for this, but I saw the 2 tanks here, the Tetrarch and the Little John. So I decided we'll just hold this flag and we'll just be at a stalemate for a bit. Hopefully my AT gun can kill them, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Don't really have anything set up on the hill, so I got to make sure that he doesn't try and rush that. It's a popular cheese thing to do. See, getting to this town is it's so hard. This flag, it shouldn't really belong to blue. It's truly a red flag. It's much easier for them to jump from there to there, and that's what he's doing right now. He's just immediately going for this town. So that's why I don't really like to go for this too much. So already looking at this engagement, He's using the plane to strafe. It just pins down the Sturm Jaegers. That's right. They're in back, so it's no big deal. It's not like they're going to get surrendered or anything. because the front line's way ahead of them. But yeah, 3-star veterancy. A little bit of a bad micro with my leader right here. But yeah, front of the force right here, it's pretty much just pushed back most of his infantry here. Well, along with the PAP gun, of course. And, I mean, just these guns, like I said, the MP44s, the MG42s, and FG42s, super, super strong. So I mean, of the 40 infantry I brought here, I've only lost 8 so far, and I've pretty much taken the town. And that's just, you know, the combination of 3-star veterancy and superior weapons, really. A little bit of skirmish here. I let this happen at range because, you know, 2 MG42s. I mean, the Pioneers only have 1, but that's alright because, I mean, I did an MG42 support, and I was trying to bait the Tetrarchs into coming to fight the infantry as well. That way my pack gun could kill them. But in the meantime, yeah, just tear up his infantry here, soften it up a little bit. That way if he tries to reinforce, my pack gun will kill the infantry that tries to come down the road. Looks like he's going to try and bring in an MG there. I do try to now set up some more AA. So the AA, it's not super good. Just 20 millimeters in A phase. So it's not going to do too much. Maybe just turn away or harass the fighters a bit. Meanwhile, pushing up with this town, I did bring in a scout car because I didn't bring it in initial deployment because the Piat that a lot of the British infantry gets it's like super good range. It's like 200 meters, so you don't really want to lose a scout car to that. This way also I can kind of survey where the AT guns are before my Stug gets there. Meanwhile, I've got this LG here. This was area denial to pin down infantry in case of like he tried to jump into this town really quickly, because all I really got is just one Jaeger squad sitting there on the flag to hold the front line. So he's not moving in there, which is good. Sniper is not really there. Like, I contemplated putting this on return fire, but I mainly wanted it there for recon so I could see what comes down the road further. Looks like the 6-pounder's in range of the Stug. Let me see. Did I see that at the time? I'm pretty sure I saw that. Yeah, and I come here, try to bomb it. Meanwhile, they pulled the Fallschrim Jaegers out of the town, back into the tree line. Like I said, I didn't really want to invest too much into trying to hold this, and I'll just have the Fallschrim Jaegers here just to hold the front line. Unfortunately, I lost my Stug to the AT gun, so I was just too late there with the fighter. He's using like a lot of fighters, which was really weird. He was like trying to strafe and stuff using the scout planes and whatnot. Ended up losing my bomber there. Super bad all around. Lost the trade here with the Stug and losing the bomber. Like, that set me behind a bit, but it's whatever. I mean, pretty much just trying to push the town. Really, that's my main goal here. So, unfortunately, there's a couple things pushed me back a bit. Unfortunately, yeah. So, I mean, I'm running Maverick, by the way, because I'll get into it as the game goes on, but that's really the only way to play this deck. Letting these guys have the engagement at range, use those MG42s, soften up the infantry. Sorry, I mean, look, okay, so he had like 3 points of infantry down here, or 3 units of infantry, and like these 2 Fallschrim Jaegers down here with 1-star vet pretty much killed them all. Granted, like, it didn't seem like he was really microing the Tetrarchs too much. I mean, now he's kind of brought them into the position, but yeah. Brought in a mortar here. This is to like soften up the town, because this Ox and Bucks, you got to be really careful with these with your Sturmjägers, because yeah, they're really expensive, but you just can't really let them get surrendered or lose them to like a Pioneer grenade like the Ox and Bucks have. This is really bad right now. The 20mm like is barely turning away the Tempest. Like it just pretty much stunned up my IG there, which is super bad. Otherwise, probably the IG probably could have killed the air landing. Lose the Stug up here. Very unfortunate. He had the AT gun set up there. Fortunately, I do still have an AT gun set up, MG42. And I have the sniper here mainly for recon. So I thought with because I brought the sniper in later in the game, and my thought was with that it was like, okay, maybe the sniper, they got like exceptional optics, or very high optics. So it's like, okay, maybe he can spot like what's in the tree line, and I can kill the AT gun before it even fires, but never came to be. Continuing to bring in more of these 20mm. I really just want to like put out all of my phase A anti-air, before Phase B starts, because once Phase B starts, like I want to have the necessary support down before I push really hard. That's really, I think, the key to Maverick as well. I mean, he is running flatline, so it's important that I not really fall behind. I mean, it's good he's not running like balanced or something, because the progress I've made so far, where it's still 12-12 stalemate, 7 minutes in, it's not really super good. I mean, then again, I mean, he does have an income advantage. Pat Gun's continuing to go to work here. Kills another transport. Really good stuff. I don't really want to move the Sturmjäger and the Jaegers into the bushes, because I knew that he had the flamers there, and plus, if I wanted to continue to rush up infantry, like it's very easy to lose my infantry along the road. Like this road, it runs extremely straight, and this hill, I thought he still had like an AT gun up there, but he could easily have like a Maxim or something that I wasn't seeing. So I just want to use it's really bad to lose expensive infantry to support guns. So just assume a defensive position for now. Keep the 3-star vet. I'm really to get really good position having the 3-star Pat gun. So just pretty much building up right now. These guys, leave them holding the front line. I have no intentions of continuing to reinforce them at this point. Up here, haven't really brought in too much, or I guess it already happened where I brought in a bunch of Fallschrim Jaegers. So I'm getting ready to push up in this flag, because I decide, alright, so I've taken as much of the town as I want to, and I have no intentions of taking this, of course. So I figure it's probably best just to push across here. I mean, I already have the necessary support with the MG and the Pat gun. I'm going to bring in the rifle leader, Fallschrim Fwutther. Unfortunately, my commander's too far away, so by the time he gets there, or when he gets there, it's not going to give the extra 2-star veterancy. It's just going to give 1-star, so I'll only have 2-star up here max. Or 2-star max. Unless if I have a 2-star unit. Like, I guess the sniper is the only thing that's going to be 3-star. Anyways, use my mortar that I bought earlier. Just going to like harass this tree line. Really try to break it down a bunch so that he's too scared to have a push. I do the Sturmjäger here. Pretty much just chilling out though. I don't really have much intentions of having them push. I was mainly there just for reconnaissance to see how much I could push the front line, but yeah, it's clear. He's got a few units in there. Bring in some more AA. He was using a lot of planes or so many fighters too that, like, with the heavy AA or Air Force that the 3rd Fallschrim gets, like, it was really deterring me from being able to bring in my Air Force. So good on his part for the fighter investment. Excuse me. Bringing in a couple pioneers. So I thought, okay, maybe at this point, I guess I could push into the forest, maybe take the flag enough. So we'll see once they get there. But mainly, there's 2 places to push here. It's the town, and it's the northern open, or the forest. Too hard to push the open flag. It's just, what are you really gonna do? Put expensive infantry there to sit on the flag? It just doesn't really work out. So I figure, with Stugs in A and B, maybe I'll have a Stug push later on or something. So a little bit more now that the game is kind of chilling out for a bit here. It looks like I'm going to send the Pioneers down over to hold this forest, so that he doesn't push into here. I guess the front line, yeah, I had this bulge here. Okay, yeah, I remember now. Sorry, guys. So I had this Pat gun sitting here, but my LG died, or I think it was I know the LG died, but I think the snipers came under attack from the rifles, or the air landing. So I was like, okay, so he's moving infantry up along here. Now I didn't want him to bring a bunch of infantry, walk it through the forest, and then push up to where he's gonna assault the town from the side, especially with all my support guns here. I mean, granted, the 20mm could probably kill a bunch of infantry, but yeah, I bring the Pioneers here, the Fallschrim Pioneers, to anchor the forest. Meanwhile, though, up here, finally going to have the engagement go down now that my leader came in. So I have these 2-star Fallschrim Jaegers who are pretty much just going to wipe through the infantry. Got the sniper who's going to provide reconnaissance on the tree line. MG42 is not really in a position. Bit of a micro issue, but it's whatever. bit of an engagement going down in the town. Yeah, like, look, this Sturmmaker is like still alive, fighting infantry on the town, and I mean, I think it's gonna get taken out now due to the flamethrowers. But yeah, look, they're instantaneously just like killing the flamethrowers. Like this pretty crazy. So my pack gun died to his artillery he brought in here, the 76 millimeter. So it's unfortunate that he's able just to bring in his infantry spam here now, the electric grenadiers. So yeah. Meanwhile, these guys are doing exactly what I want them to. I mean, they've sat here for a while. Granted, he hasn't really pushed in, so nothing really going on too much on this side. I'm gonna actually pan the camera this way so we can get a better point of view, because most of the fighting is going to happen here. So, the engagement done here with the help of all the infantry that I brought in. He ended up losing the Little John. All he's got is just the MG. That Tetrarch, it's a bit of a pain in the ass in the sense that like all they got is just the Panzerfaust with 120 millimeter. But I mean, the Tetrarch, it's not like it has HE shells or anything, just the MG. So it's not going to do a lot of damage, but still, it's pretty annoying. So my MG42 is going to open up on his Vickers. Use that mortar to smoke off here, because I thought maybe he might have moved the pack gun into here, because right now I'm just going to spam in. Now it turned to phase B with the Maverick income. I'm going to, I mean, this is the disheartened infantry. They still get really good stuff though. Wait for them to unload so we can see their guns. But they do get an MG. They get like an AT gun and just a bunch of Kar 98s. But it's still it's pretty good. I mean, it's the equivalent of like Alstrupen anchoring down the town with the 3-star infantry. So I brought in, yeah, here they are. Okay, so I brought in some of the disheartened infantry. And this is where like I think you really need Maverick, is so that you get the spam infantry, but it's not really like cheap spam. It's decent infantry. I mean, granted, yeah, these guys are paratroopers, of course. So yeah, push them clear up to the flag. Just quickly move in, unload them. Secure this forest here. Clean up whatever AT guns, support guns he's got. Move up these guys who had been there since the beginning of the game, really. And really just get an anchor into this forest. Bring up the leader. Have a bunch of support guns good. Bring up the Stug as well, in case I have to fight off some Tetrarchs or Little Johns. Because in the meantime, I mean, it looks like he's going to push this, continuing to bring in a lot more units up here. Centaur IV, that's always a bit of a pain in the ass. But I'm going to bring in some more of my Luftwaffejägers, bring these guys in at 1-star, even in phase B, because it's important to keep these guys all at 3-star. And so, yeah, bring these guys into the town. Mainly, I wanted to send into the town the Luftwaffejägers, because, or not the Luftwaffejägers, but the Fallschrim Jägers, because they come in at 1-star veterancy. But in the meantime, push is looking pretty good here. Push up to the edge of the tree line, where I can really just let those really good weapons open up at a range. Because mainly with the Canadian and British infantry, like the Sten guns and the Lee Enfields, like they're really bad. Like the Sten, I think it's like one of the worst of the 100 meter range close infantry guns. So getting to have like your FG42s and 2 MG42s just open up at range, especially under veterancy, like it just melts the infantry. Like this right here, I'm not really gonna lose a whole lot. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm gonna, as I said, that like the Centaur IV is there, but yeah, got the Stug there. That's okay. He's gonna try and clean that up. Huge salients open up here. Start to bring in some of my artillery, because it's turning into, I don't want him to build up too much here. And I know these 6-pounders and 17-pounders have been up here for a significant amount of time because they've been giving my Stugs a hard time. So gotta unload that bit of bad micro there. And yeah, a lot of good artillery targets here, so that's why I brought it into the town. And I was confident that I was going to hold the town, so I left it like really close to the front so it can have really good accuracy and the shot can get there immediately. But yeah, look, okay, so by the time I was talking there, like all this infantry is just, this engagement's won, and look like there's still a significant amount of infantry here. Look at that, easy, just wipe him up. He's going to start bringing a little more artillery down here. That is a bit annoying. So now, okay, so this is, I'm going to bring in this Pupschen. So, wait for it to unload, but the role of this is So yeah, all these guys have AT, even the disheartened infantry. They got Panzerfaust, or Faustrones, the disheartened infantry has. But, you know, it's all 120 millimeter range. So this Pupschen, it's 500 meter range, and what it does is you got to micro it to follow your infantry through the forest, so that, like, things like this Center Ivy, which is close to my infantry. I mean, it's not really 500 meters, but you use it to ambush the tanks or transports in the event that you do lose them to some infantry engagement. And that way, I mean, it's only 30 points, and I think it's a pretty good unit. You get 6 of them in Phase A, which is enough. Bring in another IG or LG. Gonna let it have some supporting fire onto the town in case he does try to eventually break out. This one's more in a forward position. It's doing a good job of not super good, but it's trying to. I thought it was firing up here, but it's just opening up on the infantry. But that's alright. I mean, these guys, the Bren's not too good. And one of the things about the Canadian infantry or British infantry or any infantry really that uses Brens is that, like, they're pretty bad damage wise. Like this isn't lost a single point of a veteran or of HP. That's because the Brens are just so bad. As you saw there, I just brought in my napalm plane, hit the road pretty hard, killed a couple squads of infantry, but it was just unfortunate that he brought in a couple of his fighters there, and I think he ended up losing one of the fighters there, but would have been really cool if he lost both of them there. But the trade, it could have gone better. If the plane had gotten out, it would have been really good. But losing only 2. Having the trade, losing the plane for only 2 squads of infantry is not optimal. Continuing to just anchor this down. Bit of a stalemate here. He's trying to counter battery my stuff here, so move that out of the way. See that they're relocating. It's a good micro there. It's always a good habit to do, because I think these guys were already moving. Like they haven't really lost any HP. I think he realized that, so he I think from his point of view, let's see if he does see that moving around. Yeah, he does. So yeah, he stopped firing on it. One of the major themes I think with this this patch is they really changed the range. Like I'm surprised that they didn't bring these arrows for balancing, but these Tetrarchs, like they only have 1,000. Oh, they do 2,000. Oops. Well, some of the new tanks that the 7th get, like they only have 1,000 meter range, and like this LG only has 1,500 meter range. Versus like before this, or all divisions beside from this, like pretty much everything's got like 2,000 meter range. So the LG ended up dying here, but that's alright. I think it died to the center, but I got this replacement here. Unfortunately, it's in a really bad engagement against the centaur, which is like dies in 2 shots, so a bit bad there. It did have AP to kill it, but I don't think it really had the penetration to. So Phase B, starting to get a lot of income. I do bring 88s, and my rationale for this is you need another good AT gun, and also you get really bad AA, and so that's why I use 88s. Plus, like on this map, brings in the fighter napalm plane. It's gonna be a juicy strike. Yeah, just a bunch of suppression. Lose that infantry squad, which sucks. But these Sturmjägers, they've been there. They're gonna continue to be there. What's unfortunate though, also got these Stugs here. This is a bit bad that they're under fire of a 17-pounder right now. So that's okay. I kind of like trying to move up my infantry here to attack them, but I lost all my disheartened here when he pushed in with the Canadian paratroopers. Bring in some artillery. Gonna bring in a big train of my disheartened Luftwaffe Jaegers. Just gonna fast move this all the way up here. He's got pretty much nothing here, but he's bringing in a lot of his infantry as well, so it's gonna be a big engagement down here. But why I brought in this 88 right here instead of, I don't know, like somewhere else is I noticed this flag here like was just on the edge of my front line, so I decided to just like attack move my flak 88 to push it into the open, which sounds a little bit precarious. Especially he's got to see this. Yeah, I knew he saw it, but the thing is yeah, I lose my Stug there, which is unfortunate to the Typhoon. Those Typhoons are really strong, man. Like they can just get in, get out, kill a tank. Stalemate in the town. Got the big engagement here. But okay, so the 88 is pretty hard to kill here. So no tank on his deck is going to kill this. Because, I mean, it's not, or in terms of its armor, it's not going to outmatch the 160 millimeters of pen. He's not going to airstrike it because it's an 88. And there is some 20 millimeter overwatch. So, and you can't really brush this thing down with infantry. You'll lose the infantry, especially with all the support here. But yeah, the 88 in the open is truly a force to be reckoned with. All you can really do is artillery it, but that's why it's important to keep the 88 moving and in unpredictable directions at that. So yeah, he unloads all his infantry here. Got these two Sturmjägers holding it down. Meanwhile, yeah, just have my Luftwaffe Jaeger. Some of them are going to unload here. The others are going to go into this bush so I can re-secure both sides of the road. That way I don't have to fight heavy cover. So just take it all out right now. Unload some of these guys. Just have some of these guys sit stationary in the open and then shoot with their MGs, because these it's mainly close infantry here, like bringing in the flamers here, which is a bit weird, and the electric. I call them electric, but they're like Grenadiers Voltaire, I think. Grenadiers Voltaire. Anyways, the electric infantry. Yeah, they do have two brands, but the brands suck. The artillery here is what's really doing the damage to my infantry and suppressing them, which is super bad. So because he has no tanks here, I decided to bring in my scout cars, but unfortunately, like right as I call these out, it looks like he's going to have the tanks come in. So he predicted that, or not predicted it, but it's good proactive measures by him. Meanwhile up here, so he did clean up. He brought in like 4 Voltaires or something to push out my Luftwaffe Jaeger. So now he pretty much controls all this right side. Nothing really to hold there. Got the 15-9. That's the key with Maverick but I mean, it's no longer Phase B anymore. But the key with Maverick is, so all during that last 10 minutes ago or whatever, I mean, it was a serious push. Like before, if you remember on Phase A, I was like 12-12. And now, look, it's like 8-16. I mean, granted, I'm in Phase C, and this is where it starts to get really scary. So that's why I'm not bringing in like a lot of infantry spam like I was before, where I was just bringing in a shitload of disheartened infantry. But yeah, the engagement. I mean, it spawns right here. He's continuing to just pour in units. It's Phase C, so he brings in like this Challenger. I don't know what this is here really to do besides kill my Stugs. I guess it's going to do a pretty good job at that, but it's still like a not super good engagement for a Challenger, because the Challenger can die to the Stug. In hindsight, I guess I could have brought in like a more closer AT gun here, or earlier on, or at all really, I guess, because it's not really here, to really just hold off some of these tanks, because the Challenger, I don't think it has like really good HE. Yeah, 1.4 is not super good. It's going to start to push into the town now with the Paras and Engineers. It's the Engineers really that I guess he brought in Phase C, which is what really does a number on my infantry. It's no longer my Fallschrim Jaeger here, it's just the Luftwaffe Jaeger. My Sturmjäger's long gone. I mean, it's been a long time since Phase A, but they really lasted a long time because I really didn't put a whole lot of infantry here. Bit of bad micro here, leaving my battery Führer just to fight on the front line. So Britzke, my commander's safe. Cool thing about the battery Führer is it's 10 man, so I mean it's gonna do some damage before it goes down. But yeah, looks like I'm gonna lose that part of the town. Still continuing to really just push across in the open. Really bad for him. I'm even going to use some of my artillery here because it's starting to get a little bit precarious in the sense that my infantry is like out of position. So I want to bring in my artillery to stun lock it up and slow the push down a bit here. Especially like my Stug. It's having a hard time right now. Get these guys in the position. Start opening up. Create that good crossfire going. Slow the push down a little bit here. Looks like the battery Führer ended up living. Because I brought up these Luftwaffe Jaeger, they're sitting like kind of far back, so bring them up a bit. Challenger ends up dying. I brought up this Pack 50 to hold this bush here because it looked like he liked to bring the tanks around here because he knew like not really to push down the main road because he had line of sight to this one, I guess. So bring it in over here. get a good crossfire going, in the sense that I guess the only place now is you would have to just have the tanks run straight and sit in front of the bush, which is really the job of the Pupschusen. But I end up losing the Pupschusen, unfortunately. I think it died on the transport, and I'm too afraid to bring another one in now because the Tetrarchs, like they're precarious to transports. I'm bringing in an 88 here because it's gonna be good for. It's not like this is getting super air stricken anymore, but or air striked. But I really want it for AT, and the HE power is decent actually on the 88. Like HE damage 1.76. It's not a lot, but it's decent enough. You know, I mean that's like gonna kill almost 2 guys per shot, and the 88 reloads pretty fast too. So bring that in there, because having one stug here, it's getting tough. Especially also the 17 pounders don't have HE, so I thought with the 88 here too, like the 7 in theory, like when there's no targets left to shoot, when all the tanks are dead, like the 88 can kill his 17 pounder. So I wanted to bring the 88 into like this bush here, but I decided I'm gonna bring it into the open, just because it's gonna have a better line of sight, create a good crossfire. Because right here, the tanks, they're able to just start running down the middle. Okay, big infantry push coming in. He's got like 3 squads of electric grenadiers. Battery Fuhrer is caught out in the open, so there's no way the Battery Fuhrer is gonna live this time. Surrounded. Unfortunate. But yeah, I mean this is what's bad about Maverick. Only 80 points a tick now in Phase C. But I mean 10-14 is good. 5 minutes to go on the clock. He hasn't drained me down in tickets too much. Yeah. Bring in some more Fallschrim Jaegers, because at this point I'm really just going to need some more infantry in case he decides to bring in some more infantry. He does bring in an off map. It's pretty scary. Especially, like, I'm surprised he didn't do that a little bit sooner, because I was here for a while, here with a lot of infantry. Fallschrim Jaeger's going to open up on the Airborn Piats. Under 2-star veterancy. It's pretty good. Micro the Battery Fuhrer back a little bit, because at this point, if the Luftwaffe Jaeger falls, I can't really afford to lose my Battery Fuhrer here, because your veterancy is super important, so it's best just to be safe than sorry. He's artillerying my munitions truck. That was a bit weird. But yeah, the 88's not really lost too much health here. Still trying to micro into LOS. Bring in some more Jaegers. Luftwaffe Jaeger. Only 1 card's going into the town. This is pretty much just to stop the advance, because I didn't want to show how much the front line was going to push here, because little does I have no infantry here. It could just come in and rout everything, and all it would be here is just the 20 mils. Sniper is like out of ammo, yeah. So all he's there is just to look through his scope. Calls in the alt map right on top of my infantry. That sucks, but sorry. I mean the 88's here to provide a force to be reckoned with. Got the artillery here, so good support, even if my infantry does have a hard time here. Gonna even call in a mosquito, it looks like. Let's see here. I think this 88 should be in range to fire in this mosquito. Yeah, it's like instantly force back. Yeah, that's the good thing about 88s is I'm pretty sure only 188 was shooting at it there, but I mean, that's the power of the 88 is like good area denial or air denial. So I get all stun locked here, so I decide bring in some more Fallschrim Jaegers. Of course, they're probably already on the way. Bit bound micro here in the sense that the Luftwaffe Jaegers is chilling out here in the back, but I think I just kept them in the back for a little bit because the off map is still coming in. I wonder what killed that. I think it might have been the Challenger. It's probably the Challenger. 88 gets pinned. This is pretty bad, but I'm pretty sure no, it's the sniper that killed that 17 pounder. That was the 88. So I'm pretty sure that my this infantry's like gotten so close that like my artillery here is like it's like indirect firing now onto their infantry. So that's like pretty cool. But that's just like that's pretty funny actually. But yeah, so bringing my Fallschirmjägers, 3-star veterancy. So that's really all I need to push this back. Because the way that this town fights too, all that I have to really be scared of is the Tetrarch and how he micros that. Because like, just immediately, like these two squads, the Grenadiers of Ulster, just annihilated. Like that was super quick. God damn. About the Stug here in case he tries to reinforce while I make my push so that he can the Stug can snipe the transports. Bring in a shitload more Fallschirmjägers, or not a shitload, but just 3 squads. Like that's plenty. I say that's a shitload, but that's truly a force to be reckoned with. Move my infantry out of the napalm strike there. Damn, didn't really see that. He probably brought that in right when he stun locked the 88. The 88 died actually. Yeah, he artilleried it. Bummer. So I mean, the 88 was there for a significant amount of time. I mean, it was there for almost 10 minutes. But yeah, this 88's been here for a while. It's done its job, pushed the front line. That's all I wanted it to do. Bringing the Fallschirmjägers. He's having to micro the Tetrarch back because otherwise they'll get shot by the Fallschrim, or not the Fallschrim, but the Panzerfaust. Pardon a sniper here in case he does try to make a push out in the open. At least the sniper will do its best to stop it as it happens. Fallschirmjägers moving up into, let's see where these guys go. I forget. A lot of infantry here. I could pretty much just push across the open, but this is already over. 10:14. Well, I mean, well, not 10:14, but a minute and 40 left. These units are really strong with the 6 Airborn get. I mean, this can kill a Tiger, you know, like a Little John. Like the stealth, I think is like medium. Oh, stealth is bad. Never mind. Sorry, but yeah, okay. This is the unit I was talking about. Yeah, only 1,000 meters range. So, I guess that was the way of balancing it, but that's still like something super scary. I think I bought this just to push the front line back, because when he pushed this up here, when he pushed into my town, like I lost this flag also. Because the scout unit doesn't affect the front line, so I wanted to just bring these 2 guys in just to push the front line in case he did have something in the bush. Because this is a scout unit, and I was like, man, the front line's kind of bulged weird, like right here. I don't know what he might have there in the forest. A lot of artillery here. I mean, he was really just pushing units down here, and this is really what I wanted to showcase of the Fallschirmjägers. Pushing units. I mean, granted, yeah, they're in the open and didn't really have any veterancy, but unit efficiency. They're just extremely efficient. Like, look, these guys are like all out of ammo. Or I think that was really a balancing thing that like Eugen did. Is that I noticed the Fallschirmjägers, like their FG-42s, like they run out of ammo like kind of fast. Same as how like Bren guns run out of ammunition fast. Like the FG-42 itself runs out pretty fast. So it's not really like people, or I don't know anyone that resupplies their infantry ammunition, but I think that was just their way of balancing it, is because it's just such a strong gun, 600 meter range and all that damage. So GG, minor, for some reason doesn't say minor victory, but go ahead and take a look at the team stats. So relatively close, but yeah, infantry deck against another infantry deck, but one spam and one is not. Take a look at. I'm gonna look at the losses just because it's gonna show my POV. So yeah, that Pack 50 did a really good job. This was the one that was in the town, just shooting straight down the road until it got artilleried. But look at these Sturmjägers though, right? This is what the card that you get in A, and I mean, like each of these guys, 40 points. Keep in mind, like they pay for themselves definitely. I mean, Canadian paras, like these are like 20, 25 points. So it's like they're paying for themselves kind of twice. Yeah, I mean, it's like most of these squads you see, like they kill more than one squad, pretty much. Aside from the disheartened one, which is the Fwutther Jaeger. Those guys are really there just to. I mean, this one did relatively decent, but yeah, the Fwutther Jaeger is mainly there to stand in front or to push an area unknown, so they can be supported by Fallschrim Jaegers and the 1-star vetted infantry. So enough about this game. Let's go ahead and take a look at my deck that I use really quickly. Third Fallschrim. So, in my recon tab, I have the scout car and the 2 snipers in A. I guess I could bring these in B, but on some maps it's really important to have like good sniper cover, or not sniper cover, but good recon, and having like 2 snipers set up in like a building is actually really powerful in the sense that it can stop a push before it even happens. And the way that, because you can't really rely on, since you get these LGs, you can't really like use them super effectively because the 1500-meter range. But I mean, it's all that you get because you don't have the option of IGs, and you definitely need that support gun. I really wish that these need just like a little bit of a buff, I think. And I'll get into hopefully what Fusion does, not what Fusion does, but why I think this deck is like an A tier deck and what could make it an S tier. And I think one of the things that could make it an S tier deck is if this got changed either 40 points or if you got one more available. Because I mean, I'm fine with it at 1500-meter range, but yeah. Okay, so let's go in through the infantry. So one of the things that limits Fallschrim Jaeger is for all the leaders that you can bring in Phase A, like they only come in 2-star availability. So that's why I choose to bring a battery Fuhrer here in Phase B, because you only need 1 for a town and then 1 for where another push may be imminent. And then in Phase B, when Phase B comes, you can be a little more lenient with your battery Fuhrers, or not battery Fuhrers, but your leadership in general. So I bring 2 cards of 1 upvetted Fallschrim Jaeger, because 3-star vet on this expensive infantry is just super advantageous. So that's why I choose to bring in 2 cards in A of the exact same unit, just so that I can have 12 Fallschrim Jaegers. Bringing the Pioneers, you're only getting 4 here, but I mean you can get 5 if you have no veterancy, but it's super important for veterancy on these. I mean, having these guys be more accurate is really what it's all about. And here's the Sturmjäger, what you are lucked to only in A, the most powerful and most important part of the deck, really, because like you guys saw, I mean, these 4 units, I mean, yeah, it was 160 points, but it won me the town, and like they're still alive to continue to hold the town and anchor it. Phase B, bring in, I guess what would be your spam in this case, what you would really just start to throw in is with that Maverick income, that 180 points a tick, Luftwaffe Jaeger. So you get them, and yeah, they got everything. I mean, they got an MG, the Kar 98s, and your AT rifle, or not rifle, but AT rocket. Only 120 range, but on the rocket, but that's what all these guys have, 120 range. And then so in B, bring another card of Fallschrim Jaegers. This is really what's going to be now, like, I guess your backline, or your anchor, really, behind the Luftwaffe Jaeger while they stand in front and be like kind of a meat shield, or push into something unknown, is supported by the Fallschrim Jaegers. And then in C, just bring a Fallschrim Jaeger in case the game is going on longer than you expect. Although with Maverick, it's important that you don't really let that happen, because with only 80 points a tick in C, you can only really bring in 2 of these guys a minute, so that's pretty bad. So that's really all you can afford, is just to bring 1 card, 1 upvetted. Stugs in A and B, because you only get 2 cards of Stugs, and that's pretty much all you need. No need to upvet them either, because you should have sufficient leadership around to make them upvetted. But if you bring them upvetted, I mean, it's always an option, but I just feel like with this is all the tanks that you're going to get, like you kind of need as many as possible, especially like you kind of want to spam these out in B as well. Excuse me. Support MG42. I really like the MG42s. I choose to bring it instead of like a Flammenwerfer, because a Flammenwerfer, it's too micro intensive. Maybe when I become a better player. Yeah, but I mean, you have those really good Pioneers, but I guess you could lose them to like a Flammenwerfer, but try not to let that happen, especially with 3-star veterancy. Like, that's just the key. It should be pretty hard for them to get pinned down where they can be in a position to be surrendered. LG42. I mean, if anything, like, I'd probably cut the LG42 for Flammenwerfers when I felt like it, but The MG42 is just super advantageous for taking out like AT guns and creating a good crossfire, and kind of being like a back anchor. Papushin, I didn't really use this as much as I thought, in the sense that like it was better. I mean, yeah, 20 points, 500 meter range. It's gonna kill any tank, but it's much better than a Panzerschreck, believe me, because the Panzerschreck dies too fast and 250 meter, like half the range, right? And you get less shots. I mean, I've never really seen where Panzerschreck squads like used all 6 shots, but Papushin 20. I just think it's pushing, having this be alongside of your infantry, so it just doesn't get overrun with like scout cars, or like against like a deck like U.S. 3rd Armored, where they have like a bunch of armored transports. Having that to fight against them it's pretty important. Pack 50. This is really all you need in A for Phase A for AT. You get 6 of them. In my opinion, this is one of the strongest AT guns in the game. 100 meters of penetration, so it's gonna kill like T-34s, Shermans, and Panzer IVs. It's gonna kill like all the medium tanks pretty much. And then Pack 40 for Phase B. I didn't really bring in any Pack 40s at all because I chose to use those 88s. So bring them in with the munition trucks, because as you saw in the sport tab, I don't bring any ammunition because I mean, what are you really gonna resupply? Your artillery? Like, you shouldn't really be in the position to where you're resupplying your artillery, because the game should already be won, because it just shouldn't really, I don't know, it's not necessary to have resupply trucks with this type of infantry deck. AA, got the 20 millimeters in A, the 37 millimeters in A. Didn't bring these out just because I didn't really have the points to at the time. I was just really trying to secure it with infantry at the moment. Maybe if he had pressured me with, instead of fighters, he had like a lot more bombers or something, then I probably would have rolled these out. But I just waited until I bought the 88s. Artillery, got this in A. This is to help with, give some support to the Jaegers before they make a push into a town, or into some more buildings in a town, or into some forest or something. Battery Fwutther to supplement the, because there's no more point availability really that I could bring in another Fallschrim Fwutther. So the Battery Fwutther works perfect there. Plus there's not really too many choices of artillery here. Bring this in B, the 105. It doesn't have smoke or anything, but it's just important for counter battery and stationary AT guns and whatnot. Didn't really see me using off map there. Might change this to A if you want, but I find that this is important. Like, if you know the enemy's gonna have a big push imminent, like, I guess I could have brought it into the town to strike the forest on the edge of the town, but wasn't really necessary at the time. I felt confident I was gonna be able to hold whatever he had in the forest, but it's always an option. I didn't really want to use the 380 here because you only get 24 shots, and I just think it's better to have like 96 shots. And yeah, you get a bigger caliber, but it's a choice of preference there, because you can, it's either or. This one's a little cheaper though, so whatever you please. And then got a big air tab that I run with. So I got the ME410 in A. This is gonna help with side infantry engagements, just to help out, give some support to my infantry that are in some engagement. Unfortunately, it got shut down early on in the game, so didn't see it too much there. Bringing in Carta fighters, one Sarvet, and then some more fighters in B. And that's pretty much a supplement. Like, you don't really, I feel like you don't really have, I don't have too much AA, and you don't really want to invest too much in AA, because it's better to just have the fighters, so you can spread them out more, and then in case you want to go for the playstyle where you use fighters for air superiority instead of anti-air. Didn't really see me use any of the ducks because he didn't really have a lot of hard armor. Like, if I was against like 30 guards or something with IS-2s, then I probably would have rolled these out along with the fighters. Wanting to pretty much use these fighters to like escort the ducks so they don't get shot down. saw me use this once and then I got shot down. This is really good for just clearing a road, or if you know infantry's there and you wanna wipe them out. So it's pretty good. It's really expensive though, so possibly it could be cut. But I'll just keep it in there because it's really good at what it does, which is just eliminating a lot of infantry in an area. And then another duck. So 2 cards of ducks, 1 in A, 1 in B. This is pretty much all that you need. And so yeah, that's my take on my favorite deck of the Tribute to DLC update, the 3rd Fallschrim Jaegers. Hope you guys enjoyed. Late.